Let's talk about video games, shall we? As some of you may have known, I like to play video games on my free time, and I like playing video games. Usually you see that on my channel, or even on my Twitch channel too. Some of the games that I like to play on like my spare time or when I'm streaming are like any of the Pokemon games, Miitopia, any one of like the Mario games, and even some Jackbox games too, with friends. Those are just a few games that I like to mention that I play. I play Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers as well. Even Kingdom Hearts, now that they finally released it on the Switch. You know, speaking of the Switch, they're starting to release some cool new games coming out for the Switch, like the new Mario Strikers and the new Nintendo Switch Sports, which is based off the Wii Sports game. One thing that I do find really annoying is that there are some games that I used to play on like any Nintendo device that is like not on the Switch deserves to be on the Switch. Like, it irritates me every year when they're announcing like new games that are coming on the Switch, and I expect like one or two specific games that I'm actually looking forward to, but yet they don't get announced, or they don't have plans to make that game yet. Now, I will say this, while I am glad that they announced that they're bringing back Wii Sports for the Switch, I am upset that they're not doing the Resort one, like Wii Sports Resort, instead of Nintendo Switch Resort. Because I had like some of the same stuff like in the Wii Sports, but also like the newer activities in the resort, like skydiving, basketball, bike riding. Like, I'm kind of upset that they didn't bring that into the new Nintendo Switch Sports. I mean, maybe they might do a DLC for those, like adding that onto Nintendo Switch Sports, but who knows? I honestly think they should have just done like Nintendo Switch Sports Resort instead of just Nintendo Switch Sports. And with that being said, let me share with you guys what games I think deserve to be on the Nintendo Switch. One game I feel definitely deserves to be on the Switch right now is any one of the Mario's baseball games, like Mario Super Sluggers or Mario Superstar Baseball. I mean, we already have Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, and now we're going to be getting Mario Strikers, so I don't see why they can't make a Mario Baseball game again. Another game that I think that they should bring back for the Switch is all the versions of Nintendogs. Now, you're probably saying, well, didn't they already make a Nintendo Dogs game, like called Little Friends, Dogs and Cats? And yes, they did. But I'll be completely honest with you, that was like the worst game I have ever played. That game felt like a total downgrade of Nintendogs. Like, doing the competitions in Little Friends was so ridiculously stupid. Like, it was so dumb. And at least in like the Nintendogs one, you can at least do like 3 different competitions, but they were actually fun to do. And then on the walks, like in Nintendogs, you could actually like map out like how far you want to walk and like where you want to stop. And like Little Friends, you have to follow like a complete trail that you have to go through, and then you get to go home, which is like so dumb. But yeah, I feel like Nintendogs, even Nintendogs plus Cats, deserve to be on the new Nintendo Switch. Now, the next game that I really hope Nintendo releases soon for the Switch is Tomodachi Life. This is one of my favorite games on the Nintendo DS, and every year I get so mad when Nintendo doesn't announce that this game is going to get released on the Switch. Like, it's so unfair. Now, yes, they did give us Miitopia, which is a fun game, and I won't like lie about that. It's really fun, and the fact that they added like a horse into that game makes it even better. But Tomodachi Life was so much fun. Like, you get to add characters that like you know, or like celebrities and whatever. They get to be in relationships, get to have kids, do all these fun activities. Like, it's so much fun. Only downside with that about Tomodachi Life is that when it first came out, they didn't introduce, the same sex relationships, which honestly is a downfall. Hopefully, when Nintendo decides to actually make Tomodachi Life for the Switch, that they add that option. So yeah, I hope that they make that game for the Switch pretty soon. Another game that I think should have a Switch update is a Michael Jackson Experience game. Now, this game was so much fun to play on the Wii, and I definitely think it deserves to be on the Switch. Just like any of the Just Dance games that have been coming out almost like every year, this one is basically the same thing, but instead of like dancing to popular songs, you're dancing to only like Michael Jackson songs, which is like one of the funnest things ever. And it was like a nice tribute for Michael Jackson when he passed away. And honestly, I feel like this game deserves to come back for the Switch. Because, I'm not a huge fan of like dancing games, especially the Just Dance games, but I'm a huge fan of Michael Jackson, and I definitely think that this game deserves to come back for the Switch. The last game I personally think deserves to be on the Nintendo Switch is the game Sim Animals. This one was actually a lot of fun to play, and very similar to the Sims game, you're basically taking care of like animals in different parts of the forest. And most of the time you have like certain tasks like to clean up the forest, get like another animal to mate with another animal, to have a kid, or some of the times to have the animals like catch food, or even sometimes attack another animal, which, yeah, it's a little bit weird kind of task, but this was actually a lot of fun to do. And some of the times after you complete a certain task, you get like a new animal that comes into that part of the forest, or you get to move to another area of the forest where you get to start over again and get newer animals, or sometimes the same animals. Now, I know there was also a Sims Animal Africa game, which is similar to the other one, but except you're taking care of like the animals in Africa. So I feel like that game, as well as Sim Animals, deserves to be on the Switch. Anyways, those are just some game titles that I think deserve to be on the Nintendo Switch. Do you have any games that should be on the Switch? Let me know in the comments below. And do you agree with my picks? Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. And hopefully, maybe sometime next year, they'll announce that Tomodachi Life is going to be coming to the Switch, because I can't wait any longer.